They pulled the painting off the wall and found a hidden room. But what they saw inside horrified them. You see, weeks earlier, a man tried calling his brother, and when a complete stranger picked up the phone, he immediately knew something was wrong. His neighbor also saw people going into the house with cleaning supplies, so he called the police. They went in, finding multiple homeless men living in his house, before uncovering the secret room with a single fish tank. Inside was the man's body, without his head or his hands. The police arrested 2 of the homeless men, but they were later released, and to this day, no one knows what actually happened. He found the injured fish on the ocean floor, and instead of letting it die, he fed it crabs every day. He gave it gentle kisses on its head as it slowly recovered. When it finally healed, the man watched it swim away, thinking this was his goodbye. But the next day, he noticed a familiar shape coming closer. Seconds passed as they looked at each other. Then the fish rushed over, bumping itself against his hand so he could pet it. 30 years later, whenever he goes down to dive, the fish is still there to greet his old friend. They pulled the painting off the wall and found a hidden room. But what they saw inside horrified them. You see, weeks earlier, a man tried calling his brother, and when a complete stranger picked up the phone, he immediately knew something was wrong. His neighbor also saw people going into the house with cleaning supplies, so he called the police. They went in, finding multiple homeless men living in his house, before uncovering the secret room with a single fish tank. Inside was the man's body, without his head or his hands. The police arrested 2 of the homeless men, but they were later released, and to this day, no one knows what actually happened. As he drove, the car's AI scanned his face and flashed red, warning him to wake up. He was confused because he wasn't sleeping and tried sitting up straighter to look less tired. But nothing worked until he forced his eyes to open super wide. When he let them go back to normal, the alarm rang again, going off 20 times during the trip. You see, the AI was designed to beep whenever it couldn't see the iris. But the man naturally had heavy eye folds, which are when the eyelid's skin and fat overlap near the nose, forming a smooth flap that covers part of his iris, making the AI think he was sleeping. Inside the bean, a larva smacks its head against the hollow shell, causing it to twitch and jump. Now, they do this when the beans are placed in the hot sun. You see, without movement, the heat could actually cook them alive. But by banging their heads, the larvae cause the beans to jerk and roll, eventually bouncing out of the sunlight to escape the heat. They can keep doing this for months as needed, until they finally transform into a moth and crawl out of the shell. 2 puppeteers sat inside the torso, each controlling an arm, and with their free hands, they moved his head and tongue. Inside, a tiny monitor showed them the other actors, allowing them to interact. A third man inside the tail made it wiggle, and another would lay beneath them, using a set of bellows to make Jabba's chest rise and fall. They also pulled strings to move the mouth. Finally, a radio operator controlled Jabba's eyes, adjusting pupil dilation, direction, and blinking. And between takes, a crew constantly rubbed gel across Jabba's body to keep him looking slimy and gross. Santa's sleigh would need to be larger than the Great Pyramid to hold all of the world's presents. You see, there are about 1 billion kids on Earth, and if each one gets around 3 gifts, and each gift weighs about a pound, there would be 3 billion pounds of presents in total. His 9 reindeer wouldn't stand a chance with this thing, meaning he would need over 7 million, and they would have to fly millions of miles per hour just to meet the deadline. That speed would make the reindeer, Santa, and all the presents vaporize. He ate 3 packets of uncooked ramen as part of an internet challenge. But inside his stomach, the dry pasta started to absorb his liquids. They swelled up quickly, forming a hard mass and blocking his intestines. The boy suddenly felt ill, with severe stomach pains, and soon he started vomiting. But the mass was too big to come out, and soon he collapsed and died, all from an internet challenge. As the soda went into the cup, it flowed through a funnel and into a plastic tube that ran down his sleeve, and it drained into a secret reservoir in his bag. You see, Baja Blast was only sold in Taco Bells, so he came up with a plan and posted it online. And that's when other users jumped in to help. They offered tweaks and improvements to the device until they had perfected the design together. He cut a hole in the bottom of the cup and used the tubing to connect it to the sealed container. While the empty cup looked normal from the outside, with a few refills, he stole gallons of soda without anyone noticing. Then he posted the video online, where it spread across the internet as Operation Soda Steal. Slip the nail inside the claw and wedge it in tight. Then line it up to the right place and give it one sharp hit. This will force the nail to stick in the wood. Now, if you just hold the nail in place, you could easily slip and hit your thumb, which can cause serious injuries. But using the claw method means your fingers are nowhere near the nail. And once it's stuck in the wood, you can hammer it the rest of the way. They designed this fire truck to have 2 heads, one in the front and one in the back. You see, years earlier, a big rig caught fire in the middle of a 7-mile-long tunnel. This quickly caused a traffic jam, blocking fire trucks from entering, and the blaze lasted over 2 days, killing 39 people and injuring 11 others. To stop this from happening again, the 2-headed fire truck was invented. 2 drivers control it from either cabin, allowing it to drive in either direction without reversing. It can even crab walk through traffic, meaning it can enter tight spaces and put out fires before it's too late. A wire is carefully looped around the flea's tiny body using tweezers. Then the harness is tied to a cart, and every time the flea moves, the toy goes with it. On stage, the crowd would watch wagons roll and wheels spin, as if the fleas are trained performers. Now, some circuses would use glue to stick small instruments on the fleas. Then they would heat them up, causing them to squirm around to try and escape, which made it look like they were playing the instruments. He got into the shell, and the dome was locked in place. As he turned the head, R2-D2 did the same, but turning too far choked him with wires, so he had to be careful with his movements. They swapped in a smaller remote-controlled robot for scenes where R2 rolled in the swamps, while puppeteers used hidden wires to yank it around for complicated scenes, creating the illusion of a robot that's alive. They rolled the bulldozer onto the driveway, tearing it into chunks, while the homeowners and police begged them to stop. You see, the workers were hired to make a new driveway, and after spending days perfecting it, the homeowners refused to pay them the full amount. So they came back to destroy what they had built. The police were called and tried to calm them down, but still, the workers refused to stop unless they got paid. The homeowners eventually gave in, paying the workers everything they promised, but their driveway was left half destroyed. Alexander the Great's body was sealed inside the tomb, but he may have still been alive. You see, he should have decomposed, but as his body sat for 6 days before the funeral, some say it stayed perfectly preserved. Now, at the time, people thought this meant he was a god, but today, some scientists think he became totally paralyzed before they pronounced him dead, meaning he might not have been dead at all. Instead, he could have suffocated in his tomb, or been cut open and had his organs removed as they embalmed him. The truck slammed into him, breaking his ribs and knocking him into a coma. But when he woke up, he could only speak Mandarin.
发生了什么？
You see, his brain tried to heal the left half by mostly using the right side. And because English mostly uses the left side, while Mandarin uses both, it forced him to speak Mandarin,
我爱你 ZACKDFILMS
making him remember every single word he learned from high school. Even though he eventually went back to normal, this inspired him to go on a Chinese dating show, where he won a free trip to the Maldives. If you pour water into a hammer mold, freeze it, peel it out, and then try to hit a nail, it will shatter right away. Instead, use a mallet mold to spread the weight more evenly. Next, tear up a paper towel to spread on the bottom. This makes a mesh that holds the ice layers together. After that, stuff in cotton balls, which helps give the ice a sturdy structure, and lay 2 strings down the length of the hammer to keep the handle connected to the head. Finally, if you top it off with 1 more layer of paper towels before pouring in the water, you'll end up with a sturdy hammer that can crush a jawbreaker. Slip the nail inside the claw and wedge it in tight. Then line it up to the right place and give it 1 sharp hit. This will force the nail to stick in the wood. Now, if you just hold the nail in place, you could easily slip and hit your thumb, which can cause serious injuries. But using the claw method means your fingers are nowhere near the nail. And once it's stuck in the wood, you can hammer it the rest of the way. A wire is carefully looped around the flea's tiny body using tweezers. Then the harness is tied to a cart, and every time the flea moves, the toy goes with it. On stage, the crowd would watch wagons roll and wheels spin, as if the fleas are trained performers. Now, some circuses would use glue to stick small instruments on the fleas. Then they would heat them up, causing them to squirm around to try and escape, which made it look like they were playing the instruments. The sticks are stacked in a square with 1 piece in the middle. Then 2 more sticks are slotted in each side, making a bridge. When a weight is placed on top, it actually locks the pieces in place, making the bridge stronger. Now, if you keep adding sticks in the same way, you can make a full circle, with each stick holding the others in place. But as soon as you take one out, the entire thing collapses. Soldiers could make bridges this way, allowing them to safely cross the river before quickly collapsing the bridge and leaving the enemies on the other side.